Hi everyone, and today we have another success story. Today we have Rajesh, who recently got amazing scores on his IELTS test. He got a band 9 for reading, 8.5 for listening, 7.5 for speaking, and a band 7 for writing. And that was after a while of struggling and not getting the scores that he needed. So we were able to help him, and he has kindly agreed to help you guys by giving you guys advice on how you can be as successful as Rajesh. So, first of all, Rajesh, can you just start off by introducing yourself to everyone?
Sure. Thank you so much, Chris, for this introduction. My name is Rajesh. I'm in Qatar, and I've been here for quite a long time. And now, as a part of migration, I was thinking of doing IELTS because that's the most important thing. So, yeah.
Excellent. And can you tell us a little bit about your IELTS journey?
Sure. It was, I would say, it was a rough journey until I started using, until I started approaching you. Now, I had visited quite few education centers which was teaching IELTS, and I was not able to, I was not getting the right kind of guidance in terms of approaching or facing IELTS exam. Now, I've attempted almost 5 times. This was my fifth time when I attempted my IELTS. And initially, I was getting good guidance on listening and as well as on reading. So, whereas on writing, I was not getting the proper instructions or advice, and due to which I was always lacking. And whenever I used to get my initial 4 results, I was always getting the lowest in writing, and that's when I approached you guys.
You
I
5.5?
5.5 in writing, and I was always excelling in listening and in reading,
Mm-hmm.
whereas in speaking and in writing I was getting 5.5 in writing and 6 or 6.5 in speaking always.
Yeah, it's very,
So
very common, especially someone from your educational background. You've probably been listening and reading to English your whole life, or for a very long time. But then when it comes to writing and speaking, a little bit less practice in those areas. Would that be correct?
correct. And also most of the people from my background, we have a tendency to watch our regional kind of movies and channels, and we don't prefer to watch foreign languages because most of us are really not comfortable in that. So these were some of my weaknesses which I understood or which I realized. So finally, I was thinking of, okay, fine, I've attempted these many tests, I was not getting my scores. I even told my family as well. That's it enough, because I'm also working at the moment, because working 8 hours, coming back, then you have to focus on IELTS. It was really hard.
Yeah, I
So
totally understand.
yeah, and
You can have an amazing teacher, an amazing course, but if you're
true,
coming back home from work and you've got
exhausted.
a little kid who wants to play with you and your wife wants to spend time with you and then you have to study, it's just,
It's really hard. Especially my the scope of work which I do. It's pretty hard to
yeah.
focus after hours. So that's when I was actually. See, you're it's about IELTS advantage. There's always marketing, and there's always videos on Facebooks and everything. I don't know uh, what made me actually contacted you. Once I was just sitting on my couch, and I was like, okay, let me send an email to your
Hmm.
contact center and said, see, this is my score in listening. This is my score in reading. I want to focus only on writing and speaking. Help me out.
And we got back
So
to you immediately.
exactly, I
Like
said,
we do with
okay.
everybody.
So the thing is, I'm not sure, I don't remember his name. Actually, he came to me and he said, okay,
Brian?
yeah, Ryan, that's correct. Yeah,
Brian,
thank you
yeah.
so much. Yeah, thank you so much. So he said, okay, if you need to focus on your speaking and your writing, yes, you need to start, because he told me that you are lacking somewhere. And I realized that, yes, probably I might be lacking maybe the format of writing or how I approach, the question, how to do it. That's when I enrolled with you guys, because this was my last attempt. I said, let me try. And this time I mean, I had made up my mind that, okay, see, in life, this is what I believe. I mean, of course, I mean, everybody believes. I mean, if you need to achieve something, you need to invest on that,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you are sitting there, you're helping everyone out there. I mean, it's us who's coming to you because we want to learn. So, I mean, I came to
Not
you.
everyone, not everyone believes that. Not
Exactly.
everyone believes.
I mean, that's what, see, I mean, this is what, see, right now, what I'm trying to put in front of you is how I was going through. I
Mm.
mean, so, I mean, yes, I mean, you are investing your time, you're investing your money. So I started learning, and of course, your videos, and because I'm more of a visual kind of person. So I always go for video feedbacks,
Yeah.
and and at certain moments, some of your instructors were very tough,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. We
Rajesh,
tell
no,
them to.
Rajesh, no, this is wrong. This is where you've made mistake. Now you have to work hard. Your target score is 7.5. No, you're not working hard. So I used to sit and think myself, why are they putting me down always? Why are they putting me down?
That's their job.
But yes, but that actually, I mean, a person who wants to fight that, yes, that
Mm.
was actually more. And I'm not talking about all your instructors, but there was one instructor, actually, I don't remember her name. I can tell you later. I need to check my
Yeah.
emails. So she gave me a good feedback score. I mean, I was around like 8 something. That's when I was like, no. So whatever feedback I'm getting from you, let me learn it. So previously, also another thing which I realized is I was more comfortable, Chris, trust me, I was more comfortable on listening and reading.
Mm-hmm.
I used to practice always listening and reading,
Mm.
whereas I never used to practice writing and speaking at all. I would like to show you as well. See, these are my books which I've allocated for reading and for writing. See, if you can see, there's a lot of, this book is full of all your all your lessons which I learned from your online this thing. And so what happened was, this time I actually changed my strategy.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was I gave 20% focus on listening and reading, because that are my strength,
Mm-hmm.
and 80% on my weakness.
Good.
So I started writing, and obviously I mean, your team was there to help me out, and they actually told me where I was lacking.
Yeah, it is difficult because human beings in general like to do things they're good at, but you're not going to improve doing things you're good at. You're going to improve by focusing on your weaknesses. So again, talking about doing difficult things, first of all, you have to find time to study, and then you have to focus on your weaknesses, which is uncomfortable, and then get feedback from people telling you this is wrong, you need to improve this. It's more a mental game. I think it's more about being strong mentally and having a good mindset, which is why we have the whole mindset course, and why you hear me talking about mindset as well, because
Good.
if you can push through that, then you'll see really, really big results.
And for me, another point, Chris, is, I'm not sure. I mean, yes, due to this global pandemic, I mean, yes, for some people it was a nightmare.
Mm,
I mean, people are suffering and everything. For me, it was like a boon,
mm,
because I was I mean, everybody had to shift their work to work at home, and working at home and working at your office is very different. It's totally different. So I could find time to learn as well. And also, I mean, I was scheduling my exams, and what happened, I get notification from the centers like IDP or British Council saying that it has been extended because we haven't got the approval to conduct. So you work hard, you reach at the peak of this curve, you're
mm.
ready for the exam, and suddenly you get an email, no. Then you, again, I mean, the graph goes down, and again you work hard, so these kind of things. And another thing which I found out is, I mean, it's not complicated when you write. I mean, when you learn the skills of writing, I mean, you just give a simple structure.
Yeah,
It's a very simple structure with your experience.
yeah,
Just follow that.
yeah.
Just follow that. I mean,
Doesn't need to be complicated. Doesn't need to. The
th-
structure doesn't need to be complicated. The language doesn't need to be complicated. Um, keep it simple. You've probably heard those words from my mouth 1,000 times, but it is really true. It does work.
And your some methods, like for example, I still remember, when I used to get a writing topic, I don't know how to write, what to write, those strategy, like the coffee shop method. And so what happened was, whenever I get any essays, when I was practicing, like I used to sit with my wife, okay, what if this, give me some points, let's talk some points, then elaborate it on an essay. So there is a structure, you have the points, what to write, put it together, and the language, and that's how the training I used to get from your team.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So simple. So I just applied those, I got my results.
Excellent. Well done. So if you were to give yourself advice, imagine you're talking to yourself 1 year ago, what
Okay.
advice would you give yourself when it comes to IELTS preparation?
My advice to everyone, using IELTS Advantage, I would say is, the guys are there to help you out. Of course, Chris, and you and your team, of course, you are there to help everyone out there. So just follow what they're teaching you. Just follow. Simple. You don't have to, you guys don't have to. See, there are many blogs, there are many videos, there are many internet posts available on the social media. So what happens is, we tend to get confused. Now,
Yep.
for example, I'm watching your videos, I'm learning. Suddenly, when you go to another internet post, oh, this essay looks very different. The
Mm-hmm.
strategy looks very different. So that's when we, normal human beings, gets confused.
Yep.
So thing is, focus. If you're focusing on one structure, or if your courses from IELTS Advantage, focus that. And I'm confident that if you focus on this, I focused on yours, and yeah, I was able to achieve.
We're one of the only people in the IELTS industry that will say this, that there's no correct way to write an essay. There's no one way to write an essay.
That's correct.
There are multiple ways that are correct that can give you a high score, and there are multiple ways that are incorrect that will actually lower your score.
So,
But that's very good advice. Just find one person you trust. It doesn't have to be us, and
true.
just blindly follow that person. And because then you're going to save time and you won't be confused, because your writing is going to reflect your thinking. If your thinking is very clear and focused, your essay will be clear and focused. But if you have looked at 7 different YouTube channels,
Yes.
your thinking is going to be very confused, and also your writing is going to be very confused.
This is also, you had in one of those introduction videos, like, we are actually investing our time and money for you. See, obviously, when we are investing that means we have in the back of our head that we are ready to learn. But focus. That's my advice to everyone. And follow the structures. Because I know people in IELTS Advantage, they are experienced, and yourself, you've been with IELTS industry for quite a long time. Who can give more advice than your team? You and your team. So,
Yeah,
yes.
we don't claim to be the best IELTS teachers in the world. All we claim is that we will be 100% honest with you, and we'll look
True.
after you in the same way that we would look after a family member. So that's
Correct.
when we're training our teachers and we're speaking to our teachers, like, they often will have a Slack channel, and they'll say, what advice would you give this student? What advice would you give that student? It's like, if that was your daughter or your son or your husband or your wife, what advice would you give them? You would just be honest with them and look after them. And
That's
that's
correct.
what we do. Sometimes
And
it's not nice,
no,
but
the
always
thing is,
honest.
yeah, like, you and your team, you're actually there to make sure, people like us achieve some goals in life.
Yeah.
So you're like the guidance, the people who guide us.
Yeah.
But you are actually helping us to find out a way, but we have to walk. But the thing is, we have to practice. This is also another thing. Practice what you preach. What you're preaching, just practice it.
Mm-hmm.
If your instructor tells you stop using these kind of, let's say, past, present tense or future tense, use these kind of words, follow it. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not like you're going to teach there, okay, and I'm not practicing. I'm not going to come and complain to Chris, I didn't get my score. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you could have the best IELTS teacher in the world, but if you don't A, follow what they say, but B, listen to their feedback, and C, actually practice what, because you can't, I can tell someone exactly what to do,
Yeah.
but they can't then go and do that immediately. You know, for example, with a reading strategy, I can give you the reading strategy,
Yeah.
but you have to master that strategy and put it into practice and learn it by heart, and then you'll be able to do well. But I think a lot of people invest in courses and think that just because I spend money on a course, I'm automatically going to get the score that I need. Like,
Correct.
no, that's just step one.
and,
Yeah.
and and the thing is, I mean, you have a specific team on Facebook as well. Like every time there is uh, people are putting in their suggestions, their questions, and there is a separate column as well. I mean, every week there are assignments which is given.
Yep.
I mean, it's up to you. You want to do the assignments. If you want to improve
Yeah.
yourself, do the assignments. I mean,
We on within our team
yeah,
and how we treat students, we have an overall philosophy of just treat people like adults,
true.
you know, and the same with how we speak to each other in our team. Just like, do it if you want, you're an adult. But if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But there will be consequences if you do that, because if you behave like a child, you get treated like a child. You know, if you
Very well
behave like
said.
an adult, you'll be treated like an adult, sort of thing.
Well, well said. And yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the support you have given, Chris. I mean, it's from bottom of my heart.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with everybody. It's
Thank you
really,
so
really good
much, Chris.
advice, and I wish you the best of luck in your next country that you're going to move to pretty soon.
Thank you
Once
so
all
much.
this pandemic stuff is over, but as we were saying before, now you have the freedom to go wherever you like. So that's it.
Thank you so, and thank
Congratulations.
you, and thank you so much for your team as well, Chris.
I'll,
Please
I'll
pass
I'll
my,
show them.
yeah,
They'll see this video, so
sure,
they'll see. So all right.
sure.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye bye.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really, really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very, very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very, very, very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.